No, they
When
were
we
playing it
played
on
as
monitors.
kids,
What?
that's what we did. We sat right in front of the television screen like this.
Do I need to get? Do I need to get like a Nintendo controller? Because them wires are long. Them wires are
Yeah.
very long.
You can sit on a couch with them.
Right, but I bet they were playing it on monitors while they were testing it, and they didn't realize that they needed to. That people were going to put this in their living room. I think it's a great living room ornament to have. For you got people over. Hey, want to play Mario 3? Sure. And not necessarily for me. Like I said, I would rather have, like, something else. But for your average person, and I think the group that they're kind of selling it to, which is maybe like the 40-year-old person who's like, oh my god, I can play Mario again. And it's in the press. Not knowing that they could have been playing Super Mario 3 on their phone for the past 15 years.
See, but I actually think they're marketing it to the younger crowd of people, maybe people that are, 15 to 21, 22. Because, like, if you're an older person, you like our age, in our 30s and cared about video gaming, it's a very good possibility. Like you said, you have a Nintendo, you have a Super Nintendo. Very possibly you may already have some of this equipment.
Or you figure out another way to play it.
Right. Or there's another way to play it, which there are many other ways to play these things. But I think this is actually, I think it's targeted more to the younger generation of kids who didn't get to grow up playing Super Mario, but they're looking at it like pixel art games are huge right now, and they're all the rage.
Everything is right. Pixel art.
So, yeah, and I think this is honestly, I think they're cashing in on that and cashing in on the market of kids that are like, oh my god, I love Mario and everything like that, but they're 17, they're 16, they weren't around when Nintendo was broken for 10 years already before they were even born.
Yeah.
So, now they can actually have a way to kind of play those games in the way that we did when we were kids.
Yeah, I mean,
I've got a guy at work that he's got an 11-year-old son, and his son cannot wait to get this SNES Classic to play Metroid because he's never played it. And like kept saying, like I didn't at first believe that this was for people younger than us. Like I don't think there's a 10-year-old kid running around out there saying, I can't wait to play Metroid. But there is. Like they built these franchises up, and where they're at right now, the franchises like Metroid and Zelda, they're huge.
Right.
When we were a kid, Metroid was like, that was it. Like it was just one game, and Zelda was one game, So now they're these huge franchises, and you have kids like, oh, I want to play all of them, or I want to.
Right.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay.
The origin of it, the original, where did it come from?
I want to play the first one. Yeah, okay. I totally can agree with that. Now that you say it,
there's definite nostalgia going on with it also.
So
obviously.
the way that I saw it and working at Toys R Us at the time when the NES class was coming out was most people were getting it for their husband to turn it on. They're going to turn it on for 15 minutes, play a round of Mario 3, and be like, that was fun.
Yep, and not touch it for a year.
Let's turn on football and give me a beer. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's kind of what I thought was going to happen with it, and it's unfortunate how Nintendo handled the first one. Because I would have one, right? So like I said, I worked there. I could have got one. I could have flipped it, but I really wasn't about that life. And the fact that Nintendo does this stuff on purpose to people is crazy. Because
marketing. It works.
It is. And I think they use it personally to sell the Switch because it got Nintendo's name in everyone's mind. And then they announced the Switch, right? But it's insane. I mean, it's weird to do it. Like, if they did it with the Switch, I'd have been okay. But they're doing it now to people who want this thing, not just, like for nostalgia reasons. I don't know. I feel different about it because of what it is. It's like old games, and it appeals to such a different crowd that aren't even really about that whole life of paying so much money for this thing, but people had to at one point if they were going to get it for Christmas.
Right. Well, that's the whole thing of like Nintendo creates this
the buzz.
I don't want to say false hype, but everything you just know by now that Nintendo products are going to be in limited supply and limited quantity. Yep. You know that,
and they're like the biggest company ever.
Right, and this totally bodes in the favor of the scalpers. Because they'll, somebody might take a day off from work to go wait in line to go pick up 10 of these things that are going to be limited supply that they know that they can flip online for 5 and 6 times the price, which was happening. I mean, if you look at some of the resale prices on these things on eBay and everything, was crazy.
Dude, I went to Amazon the night before the SNES Classic release. There's none in stock, but the next seller who had one was $242.
Yeah, right there. That's 3 times the price easily.
So it's a shame how they handle it, and especially now with this one. This one is more money, right? The SNES. So the NES Classic had 30 games. It was $60.
$60. I think it was 30 games. Yep.
Yeah. To go over some of the features real quick, so people know what they're paying for. You get the NES Classic only came with 1 controller, so to get 2 controllers was a really big deal to try to find an extra one. Mm-hmm. The games had save states. It looked great. HDMI. The problem was you had to get up to the console to change the game, and in 2016, that's not okay.
Well, you're only 2.5 feet away from it, so
yeah, right.
So and that's another thing. So the controller wire was 2.5 feet. You had a choice. You could get an extender for your controllers, or what I would have probably done, get a huge HDMI cable and bring the console onto the coffee table and have it right next to you, so when you want to change games, you could reach over and press it. Otherwise, you're going to be getting up and going across your living room and hitting the button. Same goes for, it had state save features, which is great for people who die. You get to the next level, you can save your progress on any game, which didn't exist back then. And then the SNES Classic, same thing. 21 games, I think, Chris? 21 games, but it's $80. And I think that extra money, though, comes with a second controller. That's what I would...
Probably, yeah.
I would say that...
But you're losing 9 games, though, too.
Yeah, but games don't cost them anything.
No.
The games cost them nothing, but to manufacture a controller costs money.
Yeah.
So they're saying it looks great, feels great, and if I'm just not about going out and waiting in line to get one. If they were on store shelves like anything else in GameStop or anything like just to get, I would have them both, and they wouldn't even be opened probably. I would just have them because I think they're cool. But I'm not down for hey, I need to go get this thing. Just like the Amiibo, I waited in line for a couple of Amiibo that I really wanted, and come to find out they were going to come out 6 months later for me just walk in the store and see them hanging on the shelf. So now that Nintendo's doing this, other companies have been doing this too.
Yeah. There's one I heard about. There's one that came out. It has I think it's like $40. I don't know the company that makes it. It's some off-brand company, but it has 600 games on there. But I think they actually have games on there from other systems.
That's illegal.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. But again, you're buying it. I think you have to buy it through Alibaba.
Yeah.
But there's definitely other things out there. I mean,
Atari's been doing it forever, right? The ones that you can plug into the TV.
Yes.
Yeah. With the composite cables.
Yeah, like the Mario, the Pac-Man, or stuff like that. But Atari is making an Atari box. They've announced,
Yep.
And I guess seeing that with the NES Classic everyone's trying to jump on. There's someone trying to remake a Commodore 64 retro.
That's on
Kickstarter.
I
just saw that. That's crazy.
Now what's funny is I'm actually the most excited for that. Depending on the games that's on there, and I refuse to back anything on Kickstarter ever. It is against my life rules to back anything.
Okay.
I'm 5 years. I'm still waiting for this game that I backed.
See, I won't do it, man. You may never. They could tell you right now that you're not going to get it, and you wouldn't get your money back.
Yeah.
So,
I already don't want to play this game anymore.
The Commodore, depending on what they have on there, that's weird. That's the weird thing. Nintendo, you kind of know what games are going to be on these consoles, right? You kind of know. You're going to get a Metroid, a Star Fox, a Zelda, the Mario series, stuff like that. But something like an Atari, how do you even choose what goes on?
You'll definitely get Joust, probably Defender. Other than that,
boxing.
I don't know.
I think boxing was pretty popular. Guys that just
I think Atari is going to be more of a let me get this Atari thing. Because it is a very niche. Not many people that I knew had Atari. I mean, I had Atari 10 years after it came out. And
yeah.
It's going to be. I think it's a much harder sell.
Oh, without a doubt. I won't buy it, but our group of people might want to get one to have to play with other people.
Yeah, I think a fraction. I think Atari will sell a fraction of what Nintendo's going to sell, obviously, because there's no real hype about Atari amongst anybody who's playing games right now, unless you're like 40 something. Honestly.
Even then, I think they're like would rather do Nintendo over Atari anyway.
Yeah.
You know
Unless
what I mean?
Atari releases it and it has a huge game library on it.
Right.
You know, we're talking about the SNES Classic as 21 games. Yeah, they are. They're really like they're star games, but 21 games for $80. The NES has 30 games for $60. If the Atari comes out when they have 100 games or their entire game library on it, or pretty close
for $40.
For 40 or $50,
yeah.
It's sold. These people are going to buy it just because it's like it's $40, $50. It's got all these games on it, and everyone knows Atari is a real company. You know, it's not like you're going out and buying the ShopRite retro system. You're buying an Atari system. So like, yes, these are licensed real games that I'm spending money on. You know,
can we Hit Points Gaming contact ShopRite to create a game system?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that would be fantastic.
We were at ShopRite, and they had one of those, Alibaba consoles there, for $20. Plays 11 games, plug it right into your TV.
Right.
So they exist as well, But
well, you have companies like you'll see on Facebook, you're scrolling through your thing, the SNE, the Super Nintendo mini thing, and it's some company that has 600 games on it, and you're like, that's illegal, man. Like there's like I get you're doing this for $30 or $40, but I don't even know how that happens.
Well, the one I saw had it had Mario like 1, 2, and 3, but then it had Mario like 9, 12, 15. Yeah. Like what are these?
Jesper's like rematch Mario game.
Yeah, exactly. But,
so
I mean,
I I'm interested. It's as far as the game library, I guess on the Atari, what it'd be like, and even more so is the Commodore. Like people know Atari, at least people would know Joust. People would know Defender, like Kev said, and Atlantis maybe. Games like Freeway, Football, Haunted House, like those are games that people might know. Combat, it's gonna have combat. But like, who can even name a game that isn't a port on Commodore 64?
It was Pitfall on that.
Pitfall? Pitfall is Atari.
It is Atari.
Yeah, Pitfall is Atari. So,
you guys I could name Bop and Rumble.
No, see, I don't know.
Bop and Rumble might be like an original Commodore title. It was like a side-scrolling beat 'em up. I remember you could like do like an overhead smash on the guy and like knock him down into the street, and it was actually a lot of fun.
So, I mean, that sounds great. So does like Forbidden Forest. I love those games so much. I played them a ton on, but like via emulator. And like, I don't know, like the game was designed, the audio was designed, and the graphics and the gameplay and program was all by one guy. Like, how are you going to get that? Like, who knows this person? So, unless they're going to have ports of like, like I think Karateka's a really popular game for that. But like Bionic Commando's on there, but again, that's just a port of. There's just going to be like it's either going to be a ton of ports or a bunch of stuff that nobody knows, and Kickstarter backers are going to get it. It's going to be like 100 people, and that's it. And it's on Kickstarter. There's no Kickstarter for the Atari, I don't think. I think they're just doing it.
They're doing it, yeah.
Like Kickstarter is like, these people want this thing. We're going to make it for them. You're never going to see it again. We're going to overcharge you. I think in order to get one, it's like over $100, $150.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, well, we know that's what Kickstarter does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
You could have, like, if they came out with Nintendo Classics on Kickstarter, if you waited for retail, it might be $80. But if you wanted to get, the Kickstarter price for comes with a console, $80. Console plus a controller, $110. Console plus 2 controllers and a T-shirt, $160. Like, that's what Kickstarter does. And, well, not Kickstarter, the company, but the people who make stuff on there.
Right.
But like I said, they don't even have a game list. One of the Kickstarter things, the reward is like pay $150 and it comes with a game cartridge of a popular game. Like you don't even know what it is.
Yeah,
like, I don't even know what it is. You know, so